Everyone made fun of the old woman for entering a modeling agency without imagining that she would cover everyone's mouths. Elena was born in Caracas, Venezuela, in a humble family. Her father was a carpenter and her mother a seamstress. Since she was little, Elena showed great interest in the fashion and design. She loved to draw dresses and accessories, helping her mother to sew and board. Luckily, her mother taught her everything she knew about fabrics, colors, and patterns. She also instilled in her a love for art and creativity. Elena dreamed of being a fashion designer, famous fashion, but she knew that it was very difficult to achieve it in her country. There were not many opportunities to study or work in that field, and her family did not have the resources to send her abroad. However, Elena did not give up. She continued drawing, sewing in her spare time, and she created her own style. Her designs were original and elegant with a touch of color and joy. Elena used them to dress herself and also to give as gifts to her friends and family. One day when Elena was 18, she found out that a local fashion magazine was organizing a contest for young designers. The prize was a scholarship to study at a prestigious fashion school in Paris, France. Elena saw the opportunity of a lifetime in that contest and decided to participate in the contest. Elena had to create a clothing collection inspired by her country, so she took her notebook and got to work. She designed a series of dresses that reflected the culture, nature, and history of Venezuela, using the typical ones such as cotton and wool and vibrant colors, such as yellow, blue, and red. She incorporated elements such as flowers, feathers, pearls, and coins. Elena worked for months until she finished her collection, which she called Venezuela Mia. She sent it to the magazine along with a portfolio of her other designs, and then she eagerly awaited the result of the contest. A few days passed when suddenly Elena received a phone call that changed her life. It was the editor of the magazine announcing that she had won first place in the contest. He congratulated her on her work and told her that she had impressed the jury with her originality and quality. She also confirmed that she had won the scholarship to study in Paris and that she would soon receive the details to travel. Elena could not believe it. She could not control her emotions and began to cry. For her, Elena traveled to Paris a few months later with a suitcase full of illusions. There she settled in a small apartment near the fashion school, where she met other students from different countries. Elena quickly adapted to the new environment and enjoyed the classes and the activities. She learned a lot about the history, theory, and practice of fashion and improved her skills as a designer. She also took the opportunity to get to know the city that fascinated her for its beauty and culture. She visited museums, galleries, monuments, and shops. She also met interesting agents from the world of fashion, such as editors, photographers, and models. One of the people he met was called Pierre Lacroix. He was a young French designer who was beginning to be known in the market. Pierre noticed Elena from the first moment he saw her and was captivated by her personality and talent. That he proposed to work with him as an assistant in his studio, and Elena accepted. Together, they created clothing collections that caused a sensation in the world of fashion due to their innovation and elegance. Elena brought her Latin touch and Pierre his avant-garde version. Their designs were sold in the best stores, and they were published in the most important magazines. They also participated in the most prestigious fashion shows and received praise from critics and the public. Elena and Pierre became a famous couple, admired both for their work and for their love. They were married in an intimate, and they had a son they called Lucas. Really, Elena did not imagine that she could be so happy. She felt that she had fulfilled her dream, but not everything was perfect. With time, Elena began to feel that Pierre outshone her and that she did not give him the credit he deserved. Pierre turned more arrogant and selfish and began to treat Elena as an employee rather than a partner. He was also unfaithful with other women and lied to her about his business. When Elena realized that Pierre did not respect or love her and that he was taking advantage of her, she decided to separate from him and ask for a divorce. Pierre was enraged to such an extent that he insulted her and told her that without him she was nobody and that she would never succeed in fashion again, and also took away everything they had built together. And she left him alone with her son. Obviously, Elena felt betrayed and humiliated, But she did not give up. She set out to show Pierre that he was wrong, and that she could be a great designer on her own with the support of her friends and her family. Elena created her own brand of clothing that she called Fairer Fashion, using her maiden name. The Fairer Fashion brand was a success from the beginning. Elena's designers were unique and sophisticated with a balance between classic and modern. Elena used high-quality materials and took care of every detail. Her brand was characterized by its elegance and versatility, adapting to different occasions and styles. Fortunately, Elena conquered the international market and became one of the most recognized designers in the world. Her designs were used on red carpets, catwalks, and the covers of magazines. Her clients were celebrities, politicians, and royalty. Her brand expanded to other products, such as perfumes, jewelry, and accessories. Elena also dedicated herself to philanthropy and created a foundation to help young designers in developing countries, offered them scholarships, mentoring, and opportunities to show her work. After everything she had been through, Elena wanted to give back some of what she had received and support emerging talent. Elena was a successful and famous designer for many years, until she decided to retire to take care of herself. As the years passed, they had not happened in vain, and she was already an old woman. Elena left her mark in the hands of her son Lucas, who had inherited his passion for fashion. Lucas continued with his mother's legacy, maintaining the quality and innovation of Fairer Fashion. For her part, Elena lived happy, but then she felt that something was missing in her life. So she decided to return to the world of fashion. As a model, Elena was already 75 years old when she decided to return to the world of fashion. But this time, she wanted to show that beauty has no age and that older women could be models too. So she put on her best dress, put on some fancy makeup, and headed to a modeling agency. When she arrived, she was met by a line of young aspiring models who sneered at her. Some told her to stay away. It was that she was in the wrong place, that she was a ridiculous old woman. Elena ignored them and went ahead. When she got to the counter, she told the receptionist that she wanted to participate in the casting. The receptionist looked at her in disbelief, but she gave her a number anyway and told her for her to wait her turn. Elena sat on a chair and watched the other candidates. They were all very young, thin and tall, dressed in fashionable clothes and flashy accessories. Elena was out of place, but she did not let herself be intimidated. When her turn came, she entered the room where it was taking place. The casting, there was a jury made up of 3 people, a photographer, a stylist, and a director of the agency. They were also surprised to see Elena, and they asked her what she was doing there. Elena told them that she wanted to be a model and that she had experience in the world of fashion. But the jury didn't believe him and thought it was a joke. They asked him to pose for some photos, hoping he would make a fool of himself, without imagining that Elena would surprise everyone. Elena stood in front of the camera with confidence and grace and showed her best smile. Afterwards, she changed her posture and adopted a more serious and sophisticated attitude. The photographer was impressed by her professionalism and charisma. The stylist asked her to try on some dresses that she had selected for the casting. Elena accepted and went to the dressing room. When she came out with the first dress, the jury was left speechless. It was a red silk dress with a pronounced neckline and a long skirt. Elena wore it with elegance and sensuality. The dress fit her perfectly, as if it had been made for her. The stylist recognized the dress and realized something incredible. It was a design by Elena Fairer, one of the most recognized designers in the world and owner of the Fairer Fashion brand. The stylist had worked with her years ago when she was a young assistant, so the boy shyly approached her and asked if it was her. Elena smiled and said that he did explain to her that he had decided to return to the world of fashion as a model to break stereotypes about age and beauty. Upon hearing Elena's confession, the director of the agency also recognized and felt ashamed for having judged her for her appearance. He asked her sorry and offered her a contract as an exclusive model at his agency. Told her that it was an honor to have her on his team and that he was sure it would be a success. Elena accepted the contract, thanked the jury for the opportunity, and then left the room with pride and satisfaction. As she passed through the line of other candidates, she looked at them with a smile. Some apologized for having insulted her and others asked her for advice. Alina took the opportunity and told them that the most important thing was to believe in themselves and that beauty had no age. That was it.